From our 7 Tasmania studios, your nightly news with Kim Miller begins now.
The search for a missing boatie has been suspended. It follows an extensive police investigation to find the man aged in his 70s after his boat washed ashore at Kingston Beach on Wednesday afternoon. Authorities say there are no suspicious circumstances, previously confirming he entered the water without a life jacket. Police say they will continue to investigate any information received. State Labor is accusing the government of blowing the budget on temporary health staff. Figures obtained under right to information laws show $182 million was spent on locum doctors and agency nurses last financial year.
It costs between 2 to 3 times more to employ a locum doctor or an agency nurse than it would to employ them directly in the health system. And that's what the government needs to be doing.
The state government says almost 1,000 more health workers have been employed over recent months, and locum doctors ensure Tasmanians receive the care they need. 700 tonnes of cargo has been loaded onto the RSV Hyena in preparation for a major voyage. Scientists hoping to learn more about avian flu while providing critical supplies to those working at our most southerly Antarctic station.
A critical resupply voyage for Australia's only icebreaker.
There's years of planning that sits behind a trip like this.
100 expeditioners embarking on a 6-week trip to Davis Station with the RSV Hyena. Several different groups of scientists set to undertake environmental monitoring. A particular concern this year is minimising the risk of avian influenza.
We have some very well developed response plans in place should there be any evidence of that. But it is incredibly important that we've got people down there to monitor any early signs.
Trade teams working on a crucial operation to resupply the station with drinkable water.
Davis Station doesn't have a fresh water source, so we need to produce fresh water using salt water via a desalination plant and then store that water for most of the year actually.
Cargo being loaded onto the ship right now includes over 100 kilos of coffee beans, 450 litres of ice cream and over 1,900 rolls of toilet paper.
We've been chatting to the team that's down at Davis Station. They've been there for 12 months now and they're pretty excited for us to turn up.
The crew will officially depart next Tuesday. Ruby Cairns, 7 Tasmania News.
In breaking news, emergency services are at the scene of a serious crash in Beaconsfield. Injuries have been reported and traffic diversions are in place around World Street where the smash has occurred. Motorists are advised of delays and to avoid the area. Well, after 7 months of intensive training, 22 Tasmanians have joined our police ranks, graduating today in front of family and friends. The officers, not the only ones included in the ceremony, some furry friends also passing the training, ready to put their best paw forward.
Graduating from pup to protector, the day has finally arrived for Tilly, Nikki and Basil, Tasmania Police Force's newest recruits.
So they've recently undergone an 8-week intensive training period down here at the Academy and primarily based in southern Tasmania.
The 3 furry friends will now be expected to put their paws to the test, detecting items that our human officers can't, such as firearms, explosives and drugs.
Criminals have very sophisticated ways and complex ways of hiding those sorts of things, but it doesn't get past the dogs. 3
was originally 4, but sadly one potentially naughty pup didn't quite make the cut.
It's a bit cruel that one dog has to miss out and be flown home again, but that dog certainly has other options.
The pups graduating alongside 22 new police officers, all from a range of backgrounds.
We have some horticulturalists, we have a hairdresser, we have a berry picker, we have people that have worked in hospitality and customer service, all the way through to a camel trainer.
All ready to take on whatever comes their way.
Just wanting to go out there and help the community and help people that are in need and vulnerable people.
When you join up, everyone on the course do really become your family members. You push through the hards and you celebrate the wins together.
For the pups, it's all play now before they embark on their next adventure. Lily Thompson, 7 Tasmania News.
17 Tasmanian high school students swapped the classroom for the high seas this week as part of the Australian Maritime College's immersion program. The course offers students an opportunity to explore maritime careers.
So whether that is becoming a maritime engineer, designing coastal infrastructure, designing ships, submarines, autonomous underwater vehicles, or ocean energy renewables, they'll be doing and learning that.
I've always liked the idea of engineering and building what I think in my head, and then I wasn't quite sure where I wanted to go, and someone suggested maybe checking out the AMC, and they're all off doing naval architecture, so building boats and submarines, and I looked at that and I was just like, that is what I want to do.
It's the third year the Newnham campus has hosted the program. The state's animal population has grown again, with 2 newborns and a species never before seen in our state. Siddiqui, the spotted hyena, is bravely swapping the African heat for the cooler conditions at Tasmania Zoo.
A far cry from his homeland, but with the title of Tasmania's one and only hyena, there's plenty to sink his teeth into.
He settled in really well. He's a little bit scared of his own shadow at first, but he's taken everything else in his stride.
The 2-year-old's arrival, a major coup for the zoo. Not only will Siddiqui hunt a bigger crowd, he'll play a vital role in growing the cackle.
At the moment, there's only 26 hyenas in Australia, and given that he's come from Africa, his genetics are really important, so we'll be able to breed him here with an Australian-born female.
Hyenas were made infamous by the Lion King, so have a bit of a reputation to stomp out first. The carnivore, often a misunderstood part of the animal kingdom.
Everyone thinks that hyenas are just scavengers, but they're actually more successful hunters than lions are. So they get a bad rap, but they're a lot cooler than what I guess you think they are.
If it's more the cute and cuddly you're after, the zoo has it covered. This little white cheek gibbon was welcomed into the family just in time for the school holidays. It's now one of 2 new monkeys calling Tasmania Zoo home.
They don't have names just yet. They've been hanging close to mums, so we can't see their little bits, and we want to make sure we give them an appropriate name.
Because when it comes to a name, it's no monkey business. Victoria Easto, 7 Tasmania News.
13 future builders have spent the past 6 weeks building a playground destined for the Royal Hobart Hospital's children's ward. It's all part of a master builders program hoping to boost the number of construction workers in Tasmania.
Learnt hands-on skills, and they're also doing some necessary training. They're doing their confined space, scaffolding and forklift tickets as well.
It's really great to see tangible evidence of what we're learning, and then to be able to donate it to the Children's Hospital is the icing on the cake.
The structure will be officially delivered in the coming weeks. The weather may be starting to warm up, but it comes with a warning. Strong pollen levels are expected for parts of Tasmania over the next few months, leaving hay fever and asthma sufferers on edge.
As gardens fill with blossoming blooms, peak allergy season sets in.
We get runny nose and sneezing around.
My nose is very sensitive, so certain plants get me started.
Antihistamines always help.
The hay fever season is beginning to sprout, and experts are warning us to brace for bad reactions.
It's people with asthma that we worry about the most, and people who have an allergic disposition.
It's due to a combination of a wetter than average winter, grass growth and winds, leading to built up soil moisture levels, increasing the chances of peak pollen production.
The rainfall that we have seen has turned the top layer of moisture from very dry early on in the year to now fairly saturated.
With strong grass growth, we have lots of grasses covering lots of areas, flowering lots, producing a high pollen load.
Experts say parts of the state can expect potentially strong pollen days over the next 3 months, mainly in the east, increasing triggers for respiratory allergies.
We'll see way more patients coming in over the next few months.
Tasmanians are being urged to be prepared and stay alert through the season. And if arming yourself with antihistamines isn't enough, people experiencing more serious symptoms should seek urgent treatment.
More serious ones would involve the lung, sinus pain, sometimes secondary bacterial infections because people's sinuses are blocked.
Rebecca Gaidaneris at 7 Tasmanian News.
An infamous Launceston Charity Hill climb is in for a major shake-up, with Balfour Burn ditching its namesake ahead of its 10th anniversary. Competitors will tackle a different course this year, tracking along Elizabeth and Arthur Streets before a big finish at St George's Square.
You're climbing the whole time. So it's the same kind of workout. If anything, it's a little bit easier for the little people who want to come up the hill, but we think it's still enough of a challenge to excite the elite runners.
Among those eager to embrace the new challenge is an original event ambassador who's returning to the field after a short hiatus.
Just excited to see what the new course is about and just to see how many people turn up again, because every year we get a lot of people.
The October 18 sprint doubles as a major fundraiser for Disability Support Service St Giles. Celebrating the book as an art form is the focus of an exhibition which opens to the public tomorrow at QV Mag in Launceston. The exhibition features examples of artists' books and pop-up books. Concertina artworks also making a big splash.
And it can also be stood up like a sculpture. And many of the books in this exhibition, not necessarily concertina folds, we've stood up like they're sculptures.
I think it's going to appeal to all ages. It's going to appeal to those that appreciate the artistic intent that goes into artist books, and I think so far as pop-up books it will appeal to children and older children as well, such as adults.
Unbound is on display at the QV Mag until February next year. A Tasmanian drone company is soaring to new heights using its flying machines to solve some of the state's biggest problems. Tas Drone Solutions, based in Sheffield, has recently been recognised for embracing innovation in Telstra's Best of Business Awards.
Andrew Davies founded Tas Drone Solutions in 2017, wasting no time and getting off to a flying start. The business uses drone technology to support organisations in the mining, environmental and agricultural sectors. It was recently employed by Tas Networks to help out during the state's storms.
Out in the rain and the wind, stringing conductors, so we pulled a line into Guns Plains across a ravine where they couldn't get access to. We were working down in Queenstown, pulling lines down there.
Tas Drones has also been engaged by emergency services in fuel reduction burns. The business now builds drones fit for purpose to do work that helicopters and cherry pickers once performed, such as installing bird diverters on power lines.
Hoping that the industry will keep growing at the speed it's growing, because drones have become quite ubiquitous in all industries.
Andrew's team has grown to 13 employees and 4 contractors. He's recruited experts from overseas, including Luiz from Brazil, who used to race drones in Rio.
It's a passion of mine, and it's something that I really enjoy doing. And I thought, why not transform my hobby into a profession?
Together, they're innovating drones that can do remarkable work.
Everything will be in the air. We have right now 2-dimension transport system like road and railways, but in future it will be 3 dimensions. So everything will fly soon.
Melinda Ogden, 7 Tasmania News.
Renovations on Launceston's Albert Hall are nearing completion as part of a $5.3 million upgrade. The building works will see improved accessibility and a new cafe, along with a stunning view of City Park.
But when you can look at something like this, that is, a once in a generation, once in a lifetime project, this is one of the big ticket items we've seen.
The City of Launceston has invested $28.5 million across 144 infrastructure projects in the past financial year. Tasmanian anglers have the chance to hook a share of $80,000 in prize money if lucky enough to catch one of 16 tagged brown trout released into 9 lakes across the state. Each trout is valued at $5,000 in a bid to lure more people into recreational fishing. To claim the prize, it can't be the one that got away though. Fishers will need to report details of the catch with photo evidence to the Inland Fisheries Service.
Well, the starting lineups are in and there's plenty of big names passing the test to play tomorrow's Relive the Rivalry match. Tomorrow, Tasmania's outfit will be bolstered by the likes of debutants Luke Crane and Jay Blackberry, but the side thinks their more experienced players could be the key to their first win away from North Hobart.
The older guys, even though the young guys come in, they'll get to work and get their hands dirty, but you can always rely on probably more, I'll say Adrian Fletcher.
Team Tassie will face the Victorian All-Stars in Georgetown tomorrow afternoon. To the WNCL, where Tasmania has been unable to chase down a massive Scorpions total. Things were looking promising with 2 early wickets before South Australia's boundaries came thick and fast.
Drop kick down the ground, 4. Pick the gap between the bowler and Elise Villani.
The Scorpions ending their innings 9 for 308, the Tigers falling 36 runs short in reply. Local rev heads are in for a treat and a change of date. The Supercars will be back at Symonds Plains earlier than expected, with the championships returning to their May time slot next year, and we'll have a chance to see the next generation of stars in action. The Super 2 series is back on Tasmania's race calendar for the first time since 2018. And the Jack Jumpers are expecting to face off against Burnie boy Taran Armstrong in tonight's clash against the Cairns Taipans. It'll be the first game of the season for the prize Cairns guard after missing the opening 2 rounds due to a calf injury. Tonight's game, the first of 2 for the Jackies this weekend. They'll be back on home deck to host the Perth Wildcats on Sunday. Hopefully it's 2 wins for the Jackies this weekend, Kim.
Let's hope so. Thanks, Vic. Well, Kaya Wicks will join us after the break with the weekend weather forecast.
Good evening. 19 in Hobart today, Launceston 18 and 14 the top for both Devonport and also for Burnie. King Island saw 22, Strawn 21, Grove 19. Friendly Beaches 18, 17 recorded at Flinders Island and Smithton. Bushy Park 16, 15 at Low Head, St Helens and Marai Island and 8 degrees in Laiwini. Overcast conditions were experienced across most of Tasmania today, with cloud clearing across King Island this afternoon. A frontal cloud band is seen moving through Western Victoria as another extends to the south of the Bight. Tomorrow we can expect a cold front across the state throughout the day, with a high to the west of WA extending a ridge over southern WA and SA. North to northwesterly winds increasing up to 25 knots about most waters, extending upward of 30 knots about the northwest, with west to southwesterly swells peaking to 3 metres. Now there is a strong wind warning for coastal waters tomorrow between southeast Cape to Stanley. A soggy start to the weekend, Hobart 18 tomorrow, 13 in Medina and 15 the high for Oatlands. Showery also across the north, Launceston 17, 16 for Devonport and just 10 in Laiwini. The west also experiencing wet weather, 15 for Burnie, 13 for both Strawn and Marrawar. A couple of showers in St Helens, 17, showers on the increase for Swansea, 19 there. Similar conditions for Orford, 18 the maximum. As we wind the clocks forward during the early hours of Sunday morning, we will likely wake to showers, more so about the west and north. Showers continue about the west and north on Monday, extending to the remainder of the state throughout the morning, with snow falling to 600 metres in the south. And on Tuesday, light showers about the west and south, with snow continuing to 700 metres in the south, yet only low to mid-teens expected. We're not alone tomorrow. Perth, Adelaide, Melbourne, Canberra and Sydney are all expecting a string of wet weather to kickstart the weekend. Cloudy across the state, Hobart 16 right now, 15 in Launceston and 14 in Devonport. Have a lovely weekend off, Kim, and I look forward to seeing you again next week.
And that wraps up your weekday news. Enjoy your weekend, everyone. Thanks for joining us. Good night.